Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing good. And today I'm back with reviving my garden series, and in this video I'll be repotting a very beautiful house plant that I've had for quite some time now. And it's a very common plant. It's an aglaonema. So there are a lot of varieties of aglaonema. This one is aglaonema pink valentine. See how this the roots are growing in the soil mix, and even the level of the soil mix has dropped quite a bit. So I thought that maybe this is the time to check for if there's any how the roots have grown, and just refill the soil mix. So I've had this plant for about more than half an year, around like no more than 1.5 year. So yeah, it's been quite some time. I bought these two individual plants separately, but I planted them together. This one even gave out a bloom this year, so I've cut it back now. And yeah, there are a lot of varieties you can buy from the market. I have like around 3 or 4 types of aglaonema at home with me right now. So let's see how the root structure is. This soil mix is like very light soil mix. I watered it today only, and but it's holding on to a lot of moisture still, which I'm not so sure about. So maybe we'll amend this soil and use this soil again. I'm quite happy with the roots of this one. See, there are good, nice roots. Even though I was expecting a little bit more root growth, but it's not that bad. So yeah, I'm okay with it. I hope so. It's a good thing that it's not root bound, so we can plant it and keep it in the same pot for a little bit more period of time. Aglaonemas don't mind if they're root bound, even though if they appreciate, they'll give it more shoots from the base if it's root bound ones. So yeah, I don't mind getting it root bound in the same pot. So we'll be planting it in the same pot as I said before. So looking at the soil mix, I want to make it a little bit more airy, so I'm adding in a little bit of orchid bark to it. So yeah, this will push out, help with the drainage, and even hold a little bit moisture, and the soil will be a bit airy, and it will promote root growth as well. Roots can latch to the orchid barks, so it's good for root growth, so that's why I'm adding it. I'm just looking for what else to add. I think I'll be adding in a little bit more amendments which help in drainage. So I've got pumice. Let's add a little bit of that. I initially planned to make another soil mix altogether, but we can work with this one also. So yeah, we've got orchid bark, pumice. Now I'm adding a bit more of perlite in it. Let's mix it around. Perlite will help with drainage again. Yeah, so I'm not adding in any coconut husk or coconut coir or peat moss. I think it already has enough of it. I'm just adding a little bit of more orchid bark to it, just to make it a little bit more chunky. Mixing it around properly. So I won't be changing the location where it will be placed, not in direct sunlight. It will be under a covered area which gets indirect light. I'm just updating the soil of it. Let's look. So it's got a good drainage hole. So I won't be covering the drainage hole as much, because it will be again in a tray which will catch all the drained water. So I'm not worried that the soil will get out, because it will be caught in that tray only. So yeah, I've added a little bit of soil at the base, Now I've just placed my plants a bit deeper in the pot so that roots are fully in the soil, fully covered in soil. Just trying to center my plants properly and putting the soil around it, and by just adding a little bit more, the plants are able to manage to stand on by themselves without any support. They've managed to balance themselves. Just tapping to compress the soil and get rid of the air pockets. Since it's an airy mix, so there's a chance of getting more air pockets. But if you press it properly and compress the soil nicely, you can get rid of those. Because once you water the plant and you've not compressed the soil level will go down again. So if you press it initially while you're planting the plant, so the soil level won't go down. It could still go down, but not as much. So you might, if it goes down a lot, you'll have to add more soil. So it's better to compress the soil while you're planting. And I'm just pressing the soil mix from all the sides. And I'll add a little bit of more soil mix. Because I'll just leave around an inch or half an inch of a lip to water. Rest I'll be filling it with soil mix. So it can grow more roots along the stem. So covering it deeper is not an issue. Even you can propagate, aglaonemas like that. Just make a cut and leave the stem and root in the same pot. You can plant the cutting in a different pot. The cutting will develop more roots with time, and the place where you've made the cutting from, it will give out more shoots. I don't want to do that because I just like the full look of this pot. It's very easy to propagate aglaonema, especially in a rainy and humid season. That is the time when it will root very easily. And here I have another plant of the same variety. I bought it like around 4 or 5 months ago. It initially had like 5, 6 leaves, but with time it's grown 2 leaves, and it's lost all the other leaves which it initially had. I think it's because of the soil mix. It's not like as airy, or you can say it is not draining as nicely as the other ones, the bigger ones had. So let's see how the soil is actually. See, just by looking at it, I can make out that it does not have very much perlite in it. The majority of the soil has basic garden soil and a little bit of perlite. So I guess that is the main issue. Let's see how the roots are. Let's take the plant out of the pot. I'm not seeing very many good roots over there. Oh my god, there's hardly any roots in on the plant. So I guess you can see from this, you actually need a good soil mix for the plant to grow properly. These are both of the same kind. They were placed next to each other. One is flourished so nicely. This one, just because of the soil mix, is not growing as nicely. I'm just checking if there's any root in the main stem. These two, it only had like these two roots. Oh my god. Even though the soil mix is not very, clay or anything, but I think it holds on to a lot of moisture. Let's see, let's get rid of all the soil. I would be changing it. I won't be using the same soil. I think I'll add a little bit more of those amendments which I've added in the other soil mix. I'm just still trying to see how it holds on to the shape. This should not happen with the soil mix. Yeah. So let's get rid of the soil mix. I'll maybe keep a little bit of it, but just to have a little base to it. Some elements should hold on to the moisture, and I've gotten rid of most of it. I've just kept like a handful of it. Yeah. So let's add in our amendments to this now and make it good, airy, and nicely draining soil. So I'm adding in a lot of perlite to it. Perlite is, it helps the most with the drainage, and roots, they really grow nicely in perlite. Next, I've added some pumice rocks to it. They also help with drainage. Next, I'll be adding orchid bark to the mixture. They'll help retain a little bit of moisture. Let's mix the soil now. I've added a little bit of vermicompost to it and a little bit of peat moss. I just wanted to refresh the soil, so I've decided to add a little bit of vermiculite to it as well. Let's mix it around. Get everything nicely mixed together. So this is going to be a good drainage. It's going to have good drainage. Yeah, this is light and airy. Let's see if we have enough of the soil mix, or do we need to add more. There's been incidents where I've, at the last moment, I've not had enough soil, so I had to make an again. So I've made it a habit that I just check once that I have enough, so that I don't have to, mix while the plant is in between of the repotting. So I'm not adding it anything at the base, so it's going to be in a tray, so I'm not very concerned about it, soil getting out of the container. So let's add a little bit of the soil mix at the base. We'll place the cutting in the middle and then cover it from all the sides. I'm amazed how it's just got 2 leaves and 2 roots. See how important roots are, how important the soil mix is. So make sure that you've good, nice, airy, and soil mix which has good drainage. I'm just pressing the soil nicely, getting rid of all the air pockets. See. So aglaonemas are also known as Chinese evergreen. So just by the name of it, it's evergreen. So it can stay all year around. And it's a very hardy plant. Good, nice, shiny leaves it has. You just need to water it regularly, and that is it, all the care it requires. I water mine like every morning. So a good draining soil is what you look for, just to prevent root rot, and make sure that you place it in a very well lit area, not in direct sunlight. It could burn in direct sunlight. I have mine under a shady area which gets a lot of indirect light, and that is it for its care. I hope you like my video, and if you do, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and bye.